Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys Secret Base figure preview video. Before we begin, I want to say a massive thank you to Ryan Kirkwood for going out in person and snapping these gorgeous high-res pictures. Show Ryan some love in the comments below, because without him, this series literally wouldn't be possible. Now, if you are looking to grab your very own copy of DX Jack Sparrow, I have popped some links to Sideshow Collectibles in the description below. For full transparency, they are affiliate links, but all commission will be reinvested back into the channel and put towards making new content. If you are heading down that way, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, so you're notified as soon as a brand new figure preview video goes live on the channel. Now, Hot Toys are no strangers to making a DX Jack Sparrow. Back in the day, we got the DX06, then the DX15, both Jack Sparrow, but based on looks from different Pirates films. This one is based off his appearance in Dead Men Tell No Tales. A lot of people don't like that movie, and therefore they're immediately writing off this figure. I don't want to ruffle any feathers by saying this. I just see this as Jack Sparrow. I don't necessarily tie it to Dead Men Tell No Tales, so I can completely ignore the film, to be totally honest with you. This can, for me, be Jack Sparrow from any of the Pirates films. But with that being said, if you're a massive Pirates fan and you know all the little intricate differences with his outfit between the different films, then maybe this figure isn't going to be for you. Let's start off with the accessories first. So we do have 3 different versions of DX Jack Sparrow. The first one is the Standard Edition, so there's a Standard DX. He just comes with a diamond-style display base and the ship wheel. Then we get the Deluxe DX, so it's like a double DX cheeseburger, if you will. That one comes with the diorama display base. Then we have the Artisan version, and that one comes with everything the Double DX has, plus it has rooted hair for the dreadlocks, and you've got real fabric for his head bandana. That is the first time that Hot Toys have actually done that, and you'll see what I mean when we get a little bit further into the video. You get his periscope, the black pearl in the bottle, which we also got with DX15, and his signature wonky compass that can open and close. The hands, to me, look like the exact same array of gestures that we got with DX15, but this time they're painted slightly better. There's more skin texture, there's shading on the knuckles, and the tattoos are better defined. The right hands do have real fabric hand wraps on them, which isn't something that Hot Toys do very often. Even with figures like Nightmare Batman, where we got a 2.0, he didn't even have real fabric hand wraps. So it just goes to show that Howard Chan, the Hot Toys CEO, really does love Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. This is their 3rd frickin' DX version, and this one's an Artisan edition no less. So this is the lantern I was talking about, LED light-up feature, and this is something new as compared to the 2 other versions of Jack. We've never received this lantern before. His hat does look like it's fabric because the little X stitched into it comes across as though that's real string. But Hot Toys are the masters of sculpting plastic and then painting it to make it look like it is material. So the jury's out until this guy arrives. That hat could very easily be sculpted plastic, or it could be material. As long as it fits the head sculpt perfectly and doesn't ride up too high, I don't really care what it's made of, to be totally honest. So the 3 different versions, which one am I going with? I don't know. I think that the DX Artisan this time might not be 100% necessary, because the only real advantage is that the dreadlocks are wool, and the sculpted dreadlocks are already quite convincing. Yes, the head bandana is a nice touch, because the standard one is a little bit waxy and glossy, which you'll see when we get to the head sculpt, but right off the bat, I'm leaning towards the deluxe version of the DX. Maybe not the Artisan one. Then again, I've been known to change my mind on things, like I did with the deluxe version of Scarlet Witch when I said I was going to get the standard one. So once again, we'll have to wait and see. The ship wheel looks bloody beautiful. It's weathered, There's grime and grunge on the surface, and I wouldn't be surprised if it can rotate. The base that you're seeing it sitting on, by the way, is just the standard display base. It's one of those massive, annoying, awful to work with diamond bases. So this base, I personally think is significantly better. It's essentially a blend of the DX06 display base with the pirate ship wheel and the DX15 display base with the waves, but minus the shark this time. So it's not as scene specific as DX15, yet it puts him in his element. There's water, Pirates of the Caribbean, there of course should be water, and there's some wooden planks representing a ship, plus the ship's steering wheel. And it's a smaller footprint display base compared to the stupid diamond. Essentially, you're getting a better looking display base in a smaller footprint. What's not to love about that? The only frustrating thing that you might come up against when you're trying to pose him on this is that the platform isn't flat, so it might be a challenge trying to get him to not be lopsided on the base. That's what I struggled with the DX15 display base. Some collectors out there have claimed that really cool looking display bases make them the immediate best display bases out there. Aesthetics, that's one thing. But don't forget what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a display base, so if it's challenging to get the figure to stand on it, maybe it isn't one of the best display bases out there. Sorry for going off on a tangent, just trying to say that you might have to work with this one a little. Which, it turns out, in this instance, I'm absolutely willing to do. Now, his boots are made of that faux suede material. They look like they're made of the same stuff as DX15, and that's a good thing, because I've not had any issues with cracking or peeling or flaking or them degrading over time. And I do have my DX15 in a relatively dynamic pose with a severe ankle tilt going on. So if they were going to crack, they would have done so by now. In terms of longevity, Jack's outfit is going to be pretty good for that. It's almost entirely full fabric, just with a little bit of pleather. We'll discuss where that is in just a second. Now, his outfit is very busy. We've got multiple different patterned fabrics, we've got these tattered sashes, beads, chains, mini shrunken heads, what looks like a monkey's paw, and 3 belts with these huge belt buckles up front. This sash in particular is one of my favorites because it is absolutely disgusting. The edges are fraying, it looks tattered, and, if you did happen to pose him up and the strands came loose and it looked even more tattered, that only adds to the look for Jack. His outfit should be completely disheveled. So these were the belts I was talking about, and that's where the pleather is. The bottom 2 belts are made of pleather, it seems. I don't know why they're not sculpted plastic. They could have easily done them out of plastic, that rubbery material, and then we wouldn't have had to worry about any kind of degradation anywhere on the entire figure. I'm hoping that they come to their senses and they do sculpt them. Because, as I said earlier, we know they can sculpt plastic to make it look like fabric, or in this instance, leather. He does have multiple flintlocks tucked into his belts, and all of this stuff is free floating, so you will be able to move it around and adjust it pose depending. You can remove his jacket too, which I am tempted to do because DX15, he can have the jacket on, then this guy can have the jacket displayed, maybe hanging off the wheel on the display base, for example. The only thing that I wish they hadn't carried over to this new DX Jack is they gave him the same frickin' stupid gripping hand for his sword. I get it, Jack is a bit of a weird dude, but that hand is terrible for trying to wedge the sword into it. He doesn't hold it right, you can see his fingers do not wrap around it entirely. And the thumb sticks up way too far, so it's permanently at an angle. I hate that hand for trying to get the sword in there. Maybe you can get it to look better than I'm able to, just right now I can tell you it is going to be a chore to work with. So this Jack, I am 100% not going to be displaying with the sword. So the coat does look like it's made of a different material this time. It's lighter, the weave is more prominent, and it's significantly more weathered. He does have some fabric wraps around his wrist for his left arm, so when you do have the jacket off, the wrist pegs are not on display. I wouldn't be surprised if the sword was made of metal. Every now and then they like to throw us a bone and give us a die-cast sword here and there. It just remains to be seen. Another one of those things where we have to wait and see. I know, I've said that way too much already. At least it looks like he holds the flintlock just fine. Now this is the standard/deluxe head sculpt, not the Artisan one. So he's still got the wool hair for the individual strands, but the dreadlocks and the bandana, sculpted plastic. There is a sheen on the bandana, and I think Hot Toys have actually done that on purpose. They've given it that signature plastic look, even though there's texture and some wrinkles sculpted in, just so that there is an incentive to upgrade to the Artisan. Because the dreadlocks, that's not a massive incentive for me. The sculpted plastic ones, I reckon, are going to be easier to manage because you can heat them up and shape them, versus the wool ones where they're just going to do their own thing. There's not much you can do to style wool implanted dreadlocks. In fact, we've never actually had a figure with wool implanted dreadlocks before, so this is uncharted territory for Hot Toys. Another one of those things where I'm curious, but I don't think that's enough to get me to upgrade to the Artisan one. The sculpted hair, for me, does the trick, and you've got all the little tassels and beads and intricate details in there, whereas with this one, yes, the braids and the dreadlocks look better. Same thing with the fabric bandana. But they didn't give us rooted hair braids for his beard. How can you not, Hot Toys? I mean, if anyone was going to be able to do it, it sure as shit is Hot Toys. They definitely could have done those little strands down below hanging from his beard out of wool, just like the braids coming down from underneath his bandana. They literally just couldn't be bothered. That, I think, would have sold it to me. The head sculpts are the exact same between both figures. You get 2 face plates with each one, smiling and neutral, and they both have moving eyes. So the only difference, one more time, wool hair for the braids and the dreadlocks, and real fabric for the bandana. That, and it's limited to 4,000 units. I think they're all sold out too at the time of filming this video. Not that it's the end of the world, because like I've said multiple times already, the standard and the deluxe, they're already sensational. So, let's talk about these face sculpts. The smiling one is my personal favourite. There is tons of skin texture and detail, and the likeness to Johnny Depp is uncanny. With his eyes looking up, he looks a little bit more friendly. With his eyes looking down, kinda crazy-like, you can mix up the expression and make him look more whimsical in the display, which is how I currently have my DX15 displayed. At first, I thought these were the same faceplates that came with DX15, then when I looked at Ryan's absolutely gorgeous pictures, the detail is way better on these faceplates, and I think the likeness is better too. So it's not like they just grabbed the DX15 out of storage, dusted him off a little, gave him a new display base, repainted his hands, chucked in some new accessories, and added some wool hair dreadlocks. They've genuinely given us 2 new faceplates, and I think a reason to pick this guy up. Because for those who missed out on the pirate ship wheel like I did, now you can get it. And you can get the C portion of the DX15 display base. It is the best of both worlds. And you get 2 different faceplate options, neutral plus smiling. At the end of the day, if you have the 6 or the 15, is it worth selling them and picking up the 37 standard or artisan? Probably not. Unless you're a massive Pirates, Johnny Depp, or Jack Sparrow fan. Luckily, I am. Pirates is one of my guilty pleasures. I grew up watching the Pirates films, so this release has my name written all over it. Even though I don't fully understand why they went Artisan for Jack, I think it's completely unnecessary. Now, I have popped some links to Sideshow collectibles in the description below. They are affiliate links for full transparency. While you're down there, why not hit that subscribe, bell notification icon, and join button, if you like the sound of seeing your name in the end credits of my reviews. Like, comment, and subscribe. We'll catch you in the next video.